The team of Voices from Newcastle University and Children North East want to say a really big thank you to everybody who took part. And this video is going to do that. And we're going to tell you about the project and what we did and what we found. But mainly, we want to just say a massive thanks. My name is Liz Todd. I'm Professor of Educational Inclusion at Newcastle University, and I co-directed the project with Luke Bramall at Children North East. And a whole team of us took part. It was about 3 researchers from Newcastle University, 6 researchers and more from Children North East. Voices listened to over 1,500 children and young people from countless different organisations aged about 6 to 18 across all the different local authorities. And the idea was to hear about what aspects of life have been important, difficult, good, troubling, all kinds of different things to young people, children and young people in and through the pandemic. And then to make sure that the things that you've said to us lead to some action, and that we've worked with you, with children, to make some action happen. That was our goal, and that is what we've done. And we're going to tell you now, so that even if you're somebody who just was part of one of the focus groups, you can know what we did, what happened to the whole project. If you're a teacher, if you're a youth worker, and you helped us to set up a group, then you can know what the whole thing was, what the whole big picture was.
My name's Gwen Dalziel and I'm a field researcher for Children North East. So I came into the project in September 2020, which was a really interesting time because schools had just reopened. You were all returning to the classroom after the first lockdown, and I needed to find a way to be able to speak to all of you, which could be a little bit tricky at times. So some of you did online focus groups with us while you were in your school. Some of you, I came to your football club or your taekwondo club, and we had to find all different ways of reaching out to you to be able to get your voice on this project. So it was a bit challenging, but it was also very interesting for us.
Hello, my name's Suzanne and I'm, like Gwen, a field researcher for Children North East on the Voices project. And after Gwen originally spoke to quite a few of you between September and December, myself and Catherine, who you'll meet soon, and some other researchers for Children North East, we reached out to many of you in January 2021. We also went into national lockdown at that time, so many of you were homeschooling. So this meant that we were talking to you if you were key worker children, or we were reaching out to youth groups and youth organisations, and we eventually spoke to over 1,100 of you between January and May. Very much of this was online, so we were talking to you in your classroom and we were in another place, which was very challenging, but many of you really enjoyed this process, those of you who got involved. And we also sent out over 700 drawing packs or writing packs, which gave you the opportunity to draw or write your thoughts about the pandemic. And we have some fantastic images that you have produced.
So I'm Catherine, who worked with Suzanne and Gwen from Children North East, and I want to tell you a little bit about what we found out from all of those conversations and all of the drawings that we had. There were some themes that came out of the project. So one of the themes was transport and how difficult it was to be able to move around on public transport when there were restrictions on the number of people who could get on buses, when some people weren't wearing masks, and when buses got too full. So we brought together some young people with the transport providers, particularly with Nexus, and shared the concerns, made sure that the providers knew what young people were thinking. We also had a theme around social interaction. All the way through, people told us how they missed seeing friends and family. They missed being at school. One of the outputs that we did was we looked at different ways with different organisations like Culture Bridge and Melva to see what sort of things they had done to try and reduce that feeling of isolation. You talked to us about mental health and also about your physical health, how that had changed. You talked about how there'd been a big impact on your education and how you were concerned about that. And also for those who were coming up to doing exams, then talked about how they were concerned about future employment and how the pandemic was going to impact on future employment. And the final thing was around digital and trying to look at ways that the skills which you had learned, having spent a huge amount of time online during the pandemic, how that could be seen in a positive way. So we've worked with Venerable Bede in Sunderland and Sunderland Software City, which is an organisation which promotes digital skills, to look at producing some teaching materials.
People have been really, really interested to hear the things that you've said, and we've been quite blown away by the level of interest. For example, Look North wanted us to talk, and so we went on the telly and spoke about what you were saying to us. And we've had countless people say things like, "Oh, I didn't know that children thought like that," or that they think about things not just about school and their immediate ideas, but they think about transport and employment and about politics. You told us lots of different things about what you think about what the government's doing. You had your eyes on the news. You felt annoyed that you were being blamed by the politicians, and you got cross about that, rightly so. And people are just surprised at your level of political thinking and your level of ideas. But it's been great to get out there, push out there your voices, and have other people listen to you and take you seriously through the work through the contribution you've made to our project and the work we've been able to do to get that out there. We've had 2 podcasts, so more people have been able to listen. Myself and the other co-director, Luke Bramwell from Children North East, we've been on podcasts. We've given countless presentations as well to different organisations and conferences, and we hope this will carry on. But mostly what we hope is that we're going to carry on making some kind of impact. We're hoping that people are going to listen more and keep listening to what you say. And we're also hoping that we're going to find ways to keep on listening to you, because we know that the effects of the pandemic on all of our lives and on your lives hasn't finished. And we want to find out how it's still impacting and what you want us to do. I'm going to just finish with a few of the quotes that have meant the most to me, in a way, from you. A few things that you've said that have been really quite striking. So, lockdown was a challenge, and with every challenge there comes an opportunity. It's a challenge to do things you've never done before. That was said by somebody at a college. Somebody else also from a college said this: "I've been screaming because of how I felt, but now it's over, I survived a global pandemic." And somebody else said, "It proves that you'll be able to adapt. Through the pandemic, everything changed. There were lots of changes in a short time, and it shows how you can cope with all of it." But we don't want people to stop taking seriously the effect it's had, but we do also want people to realise the incredible resilience you've all got, and the different actions you've all taken to try and keep yourselves safe. And finally, from all of us, a massive thanks for taking part in the project. A massive thanks if you're a young person, a massive thanks if you're a youth leader, youth worker, somebody at a school, teacher, teaching support assistant, secretary, anybody who's helped. Thank you very much from all of us.